Hey, what's going on, everybody? We are live. I am exhausted. I totally forgot that I had scheduled this video, and I only scheduled it a couple days ago, and yet, still here I am, unprepared, and admittedly, I hit the launch button on the Kickstarter campaign this afternoon and sort of told myself I was going to just ignore it and just not sort of look at anything until tomorrow. And then was was actually reminded in a message. Somebody's like, "Hey, what time are you doing your video?" And I was like, "Oh, right, that." But anyway, I'm here and I have to unbox these anyway. I have to unpack these anyway. I'm excited to get them unpacked. I've had them for a few days and I literally haven't had the time to take these out of the package. They ship to me like this, in reusable food containers, which I'm gonna reuse. Obviously, I mean, I'm gonna put leftovers and stuff in these. Um, so the format of this, if you've watched my open lates before, you know that typically you're looking at my hands, is looking at my toys. But for this one, it's a little bit different. Just because it's different stuff. I mean, it's not an unboxing. There's no packaging as such. You're gonna get pieces of a figure. I don't know how well this video is gonna go. I don't know if it's gonna be interesting or not. But before I open anything, I will tell you what I have that we can take a look at. I have a whole bunch of heads in this, and I don't want to show any, but this is like full of heads, which I already opened the other night. I actually have the gruesome head pack there, but you don't get to see that yet, not yet. I have the blue astronaut, the blue zombie, and then I have the red astronaut, Spike Spectre, and the corresponding zombie that goes with him. And then I have the accessories, so the backpacks and stuff like that as well. So while I continue to kind of ramble, let me know what you want me to open up first. Like I said, I got to open all of it. So, I'm happy to open either the blue astronaut, the blue zombie, the red astronaut, the red zombie, or the accessories. Whoever kind of comments what they want to see first, I will open that. But I have been I've been going pretty late into the night, tweaking things, adjusting things, making sure that everything was right. I have been, just making sure that we've crossed the T's and dotted the I's. So, it was the plan to launch at the time that we did, which was 4 p.m. Pacific time on February 28th. Was planned out for a while, and the sort of explanation for it, because a couple people have asked, and I think in a post Brick asked in a comment, and I replied. But for anybody that sort of didn't see that reply or whatever, we launched at 00 like 0 hours, or however you say it. I don't know, 000000 UTC. Now, UTC, for anybody that is not familiar, is the now I've forgotten what it's called. Calculated universal time. So calculated universal time is effectively the time standard that is used in outer space. The reason being, when you're floating around in a spaceship or you're in the International Space Station or something like that, you're not really in a time zone. You're just you have to have a time as a reference point. We as humans use time as reference a lot more than we realize that we do. But anyway, when you're in space, you're not on the West Coast, you're not on the East Coast, you're just up in space. So UTC is like the time that sort of exists outside of time, almost, if you want to kind of look at it that way. No matter where you are above the Earth, if you're in space, you use UTC. So UTC was always something that I wanted to use as the launch time. There was other things that I wanted to do that, I couldn't really talk about because it would sort of give things away, like how nerdy I was with some of the numbers. I wanted to use as the funding goal, I wanted to use the distance to Mars um when we launched, but it didn't quite line up with what we wanted to. It was so close. It was so close, but it didn't quite line up. And then I looked at, okay, what's the average distance from Earth to Mars? And that didn't quite line up. And so I looked at a whole bunch of different things like that for funding goals. I looked at a whole bunch of different things like that for some of the pricing. I looked at, UTC was sort of the one that I could get away with. So it was just, it was just a fun thing. And I think too, like it's just, everybody, we'd been saying March 1st for so long, everybody assumed it would be Saturday. And people, I fully admit that we did videos in the last, couple weeks where people were like, what time does it launch on Saturday? And I never said Saturday. I never once said Saturday. I never even repeated it when somebody else said it. I said March 1st. If they said, what time does it launch, on Saturday, I would say, I'm not telling what time it's launching. So it was admittedly a little bit sneaky and a little bit misleading. But that's just because that's how I wanted to play it. And I get to play it however I want. So I hope you guys kind of enjoyed that. I hope that explanation makes sense. And I guess that's sort of a reflection of who I am. I just wanted I wanted little Easter eggs. I wanted funny little things like that. And hopefully we'll have the chance to do kind of more stuff like that, because that's just my sort of nerdiness. It's kind of how it works. I know so much more about Mars, and I know so much more about astronauts now than I did 6 months ago. Not because it makes, the Kickstarter better or the figures better, but because that's what I do. There will be, and we'll see if anybody points them out. There will be plot holes in the lore based on science fact. So the science fiction won't necessarily match the science fact, but who cares? It's science fiction for a reason. And it doesn't take place in our universe, so maybe the rules are different in the Nameless universe. But anyways, let me just check in with the chat, say hello to everybody. I apologize that I was late. I scheduled this a couple of days ago, and then, like I said, I meant to reschedule it for a normal time. So anybody that's watched me do open lates before, it's always 8:35 p.m. Pacific time. But for whatever reason, I realized 5 minutes ago that I set it for 8:05, which is odd. I don't do that, but anyway. I probably said it really late at night and just forgot to double check. Anyways, Gabrielle has become a channel member. Thank you, Gabrielle. Appreciate that. Prepare to be disappointed. I gotta work. Now that the Kickstarter's launched, I feel like I'll have a little bit more time. I'm gonna try to do more like members only content and just some like cool stuff, because I've been slacking on that for a long time. Which is why membership is $1. I got bullied into doing it, and I never felt great about it. But anyway, Space Zombies from Mars have been backed, and an EL are cleared for takeoff. How much space jargon can we use? Gabrielle says I'm sure there's plenty of jargon we can gravitate towards. That's a good one. Imperious Rex is here as well. Larry's Geeky World. Christopher Bouchard. Let's see. Game Quest is here as well. Says good evening. Tyraxis is here. Go check out their channel. We will actually have, going forward, we'll when we do updates or somewhere, I'll figure out exactly the best way to do it, but we're going to have a list of all the videos that we've done for Space Zombies from Mars, and then all the ones that we are going to do for Space Zombies from Mars. So if you miss anything, be sure to check the list out. Where's that list going to be? I don't know. We'll figure it out, and I'll sort of get back to people. But shout out to Tyraxis. he will be on that list. Let's see. The Space Coast. Exactly. And Brian Brink says Distance to Mars is a cool idea. And I can't remember, like, it was, we probably could have used it, but also people wouldn't have known what it was, and so it would have looked dumb. Also, it would have changed everything because the distance to Mars is different every day, and so it would, like I said, it wouldn't have made sense, because if somebody had Google searched it, it would be like different than like the day before, the day after, and then it would just look like a totally random number. And that being said, if you're looking at the Kickstarter in US dollars, it totally looks like a random number anyway, so it doesn't really make that much difference. But I can only put it in Canadian dollars, so there's no way it would have translated to US dollars. So anyway, that's why I didn't bother doing that. But anyway, moving on. Kelly says, I actually had alarm set for every hour on Saturday so I could try to go for number one. Oh, I appreciate you, Kelly. I'm sorry. I don't even know who backer number one is. I haven't looked. I will be totally honest. I haven't looked at the Kickstarter. I intentionally, knowing that I wouldn't want to, but I would want to look at the Kickstarter if I needed to talk about it. I saved the preview screen. So when you're doing a Kickstarter, you basically put the Kickstarter campaign page together, and it looks exactly the same for all intents and purposes, but it's a preview and you can change things as you go. And knowing that I didn't want to see the numbers, I intentionally did not exit my preview screen. And so the reason mine still says 0 is because I haven't looked, and I don't want to. It's too anxiety inducing. The first day, the first couple days, you can check so many times, it just drives you crazy. So for that reason, I just am going to look at that page if people ask me questions or, have comments or whatever. So for now, that's all I'm looking at. Tyrexa says you were very specific about your response to my question about that. I can't remember what my answer was, but I believe you. Sean Forrester says, back as soon as I got the notice, will there be another all-in tier once things unlock? Yes, there absolutely will. So prepare for launch, I think, is the name of the all-in bundle right now. The All Systems Go bundle will unlock when we unlock everything. So if you're thinking that that's what you want, that one goes for like $350 US, give or take. I believe, Sean, that you're in the US, so that's why I'm throwing it out there in US. If you want, what you can kind of do is like you can see all the stretch goals, so you can sort of see what's there. The All Systems Go all-in bundle will get you one of everything. So if you think you want one of everything, just kind of do add-ons that equals up to like $350, and then that way it sort of gets the funding, to where you would have that. And then when it unlocks, you basically just go in and change your pledge, and then and change it over to that one. So that's how that's going to work. I learned from putting an all-in before everything is unlocked that it confuses people, so it won't unlock until everything unlocks, if that makes sense. Thank you for that question, though. And my wife says that is dedication, Imperious. She didn't know when it launched. I texted her when I launched it, and she was like, I thought it launched tomorrow. She didn't say that, but she doesn't care either. Mr. Wonderful, backer number uno times 2. Mr. Wonderful is backer number 11, so he's still got a 1. You still got a 1, Trav. You still got a 1 in your backer number, so that's not that bad. Let's see. Andrew Gilbertson? Is Andrew Gilbertson backer number 1? I don't even know. I didn't look. I haven't looked. I know who number 2 is. Josh Brown was backer number 2. He messaged me. But backer number 1 hasn't spoken, hasn't said anything, and I haven't checked. So Trav, you cheapskate. I'd have to delete 10 pledges in order to get you to backer number 1. You shouldn't have been sleeping on it. You should have been paying attention, dude. I told you, pay attention. Okay, nobody picked what they wanted to see. Nobody picked which one they wanted to open. That's great. I don't have to open anything. I could just say goodnight and talk to you guys later. No, I wouldn't do that. Of course I wouldn't do that. All right, should I start with an astronaut? I feel like it makes sense to open an astronaut. I feel like it makes sense to open the blue astronaut first, because the blue astronaut is part of the launch. Yeah, I'm not deleting 10 pledges. Tyraxis says open it all. I will. I mean, I'll try to. It is Paintmaster, so it is just all in pieces. But it's kind of fun to open these like this because they're all like little Christmas presents. So I'll show you what I mean. Kelly says green astronaut. I already have the green astronaut paint sample. I have the Paintmaster that we have had at a couple conventions. And it's underneath the heads, so I will not be looking at that. So let's get into the blue astronaut, shall we? Trav, I'm messing with you. I was driving to Toronto. I know you were driving to Toronto. That's why I didn't want to like rub it in or like say anything, because I knew that you probably would not get the notification right away. All right, here we go. This is a bag of hands and some Mars rocks. There are the Mars rocks. People were asking, like, what's the little red? Is that a heart? No, it's not a heart. Has packaging been shown at all? Asked Trav. No, it has not. It is. We haven't finalized packaging at all. Largely because I open everything and didn't prioritize it, and we've just been busy with everything else and getting Paintmasters done and kind of doing everything else that we just didn't quite get around to it. So, okay, so like I said, in like a reusable kind of Tupperware leftover container using just normal paper towel. Hands in a Ziploc bag. Great value. I think that's great value Walmart brand bags. Like this is the glamour of toy companies. It's in waxed paper because you don't want it to stick to anything, because that paint, that precious paint is the arm is broken. That's okay though. I'll glue it back on before we take pictures. All right, now, and the little pouch is broken too. That's okay. Life goes on. Like I said, this is the glamorous nature of toys. The heads shipped separate. So this is, of course, Julia Stryker. So Julia Stryker's head, painted by Arlen, is right there, looking fantastic. But her body is here, broken arm and all. I can see what's going on here. Yeah, so it's all, the whole thing is printed in pieces. Each piece is then painted meticulously with many coats of paint. Then it gets shipped to us. We kind of inspect it all and decide whether the paint apps are up to snuff. This thing looks phenomenal. The blue, hold on, let me change my light because I don't think I'm like highlighting myself. I don't think it's like highlighting the figure well enough. So let's try that. I think that's going to look better. The blue is going to be more vibrant. There you go. That's better. So there you go. That's what a paint master looks like. And you can see, so this is the paint master, as I said, as I've said 37 times. This is the paint master. So this is what we're going to use basically to send to the factory. This is the sample that we send them, and then you do their magic and send back, you know, beautiful figures. So as far as the paint scheme goes, let me take that comment down. Trav, I like you. I don't like you enough to leave that comment up that long. So as far as the paint goes, you know, you got sort of a mix of matte and gloss. So the blue is sort of a semi-matte. The gray is matte. The black on the knee pads, I think. The toes and sorry, should have turned those off, but I'm not going to. The silver on the cuff, the black on the sort of armband and thigh band, the black on here are all gloss. So anywhere that the suit would effectively be like a metallic, and by that I mean like metal, like anodized metal, it is gloss because that's how it would very likely look. Yeah. And then there's the other arm with the peg broken. That's okay. I bet I can get that peg out. I will glue the peg back onto the shoulder, and then I will have an arm that is removable. Let's take a look at the helmet as well. So there is the helmet. Now let's see if it'll open or if it's painted shut. I think it's painted shut. It's still a little bit tacky, but that's okay. So to show you, the helmet will split into two pieces. So in order to put it on the figure, since I already have the head off, I can show you. So with the head off, the base will go on. Once the base is on, the head will go on. And I'm not going to force these all together because I still have to take pictures. And then the top, did I have that right? Yeah, the top will go on over top, and then it just sort of clips into place, and there you go. The visor itself, while it doesn't necessarily look it right now, just given the light and given you know, everything else, that visor will be oh, yeah, you can see through it there. If I turn it at sort of the right angle, I don't know if they'll be like clear or if they'll be like smoky gray, but those will be you know, transparent. You'll be able to sort of see the character's head through there. Obviously, the retro ones will be clear, like totally clear. They will be transparent because that's you know, the fishbowl style one just really works transparent like that. So okay, I'm gonna put Julia back in the package, or at least Julia's suit. Bundle it all up nice and careful. Probably break it even more in the process. But like I said, a little bit of crazy glue, and away you go. That's the blue astronaut. Let's do the blue zombie or red astronaut. What should we do next? Let's see here. Larry's Geeky World, backer number 59. Thank you, Larry. Very much appreciated. Let's see. Are you going on all the shows? We're going on as many as will have us. I think we're at about 20 shows as of now, but there's still a few days I don't have anything booked, so why not? Let's see. Toy Connections. What's going on, Kansas? Best of luck to this line. Tyraxis, who did or is doing the Paint Masters? Jason Bienvenu of Spiro Toys. There's a lot of crossover here. Arlen sculpted for Animal Warriors of the Kingdom. Jason from Animal Warriors of the Kingdom is doing Paint Masters. So it's that's there's a lot of indie companies that sort of use and share people. I guess Arlen, Jason, and myself are all sort of included in that, in the sense that we're all doing multiple duties for like multiple toy lines and stuff like that. So it's pretty cool, pretty fun, pretty cool. It's a pretty cool club. It's pretty fun to be a part of it. Justin says, was there an all-in for the Kickstarter? Yes, there is an all-in for what we've launched so far. But as we unlock everything, I will have another all-in bundle that will unlock at the end as well, for one of everything. And that'll be $350. So everything that's on the campaign page right now, you will get for one of each for $350 US dollars. Let me see if I can catch up to the comments here. Show the packaging. We don't have the packaging. I couldn't show it if I wanted to. We don't have it done yet. So, any thoughts about weathering? We're not doing weathering. The reason being, everybody has a different preference for sort of how much weathering they like. And my preference and Arlen's preference is for sort of less shading, less weathering, just sort of a cleaner suit. And the reason for that is anybody that customizes will have a sort of cleaner slate to work from. You'll have sort of a cleaner palette. So if you want to do red sand on the suit, you can do red sand on the suit. If you want to do, a wash, if you want to do whatever, you have a little bit cleaner canvas to work with. There are toy lines that I really enjoy that I wish had less paint, and so as a result, that was sort of the decision that we made. They are painted head to toe. We could have added more paint apps and sort of layers and weathering and stuff like that, but it didn't fit what we wanted to do. So yeah, so that's your answer. The helmets are cool. The helmets are fun. Oh man, I'm way behind. I just realized that I'm like people are answering all the questions that I'm answering already. Sean says red, please. Kelly says red, please. Larry says red. Okay, I'll open the red astronaut next. Let's see. Ray Black, good to have you. All right, let's open the red astronaut. Now, of course, the red astronaut is, in fact, Spike Spectre. So he is, if you haven't figured it out, he's kind of the big bad. He's sort of the villain. I would have loved to include him just sort of at launch. But I think the funding goal to unlock him is like so close to the funding goal that was sort of the compromise. It was just sort of necessary to sort of get funding where we needed it for all the other molds. And then his is the sort of first extra tooling plate with his different harness, his different jetpack, and some of his accessories. So it just had to be a little bit more than what that initial funding goal was. Same thing with him, a bag of hands and accessories. There's his little blaster in there and camera. I'll pull the blaster out and camera. The camera is actually Julius Stryker's, but it's in the wrong bag. I thought it might be in the accessories pack, but it is in fact in here. So I will take it out just so that I don't lose it and put it in the wrong place. But yeah, there's a very cool little camera. Plenty of sculpted detail. You got, now this is going to be a manual camera, of course, because wouldn't it be terrible if your battery on your digital camera wore out? So this is like a film camera. So you got the winder, and you've got the, everything sort of analog. It's also, I think, just part of the lore. This world is a little more analog. It's a little less. I mean, I know they go to space and they have laser guns, but they have, film cameras still. So, all right, accessory wise, Spike Spectre is gonna get a little knife, and he's gonna get this very, very cool kind of 1960s, Martian invasion type sci-fi blaster. I love this thing. I love this thing. I'm excited. I'm excited for these little touches, right? Like the little details to me make all the difference. So I'm excited to get them. I'm excited for everybody else to get them. I got the fishbowl, which I'll look at in a second here. But I want to get Spike out of the package. I got his head here as well, to get out of the head pack that I've got next to me. Try not to rush because I don't want to break anything and get in trouble. Oh, he's got a broken arm too. Everybody's got broken arms. Oh, his is broken at the shoulder. That's not fun. And his leg's broken. Oh, well. C'est la vie. So you get an arm and a leg broken off. But you know what? These actually give me a good opportunity to sort of show some of the paintwork. As I said, the toe of that boot is gloss. There's sort of a little bit of gloss on the front there. This sort of metal connector bit, you can see, like if I hit the right light, you can see the reflection there. There's sort of a semi-gloss on the knee as well. His knee is different, so a little more retro look to that. And then again, as we had on the other figure, you get a couple hits of the gloss, so on the cuff and the armband there. And then here is the sort of main body of the figure with a nice, I think this is going to be gloss. I think that's going to be a high gloss for the chest sort of harness piece. And you see all the little buttons in the thing there, like just cool, fun details. I'm really digging this. Very, very excited. Spike's head, of course, looks grayer in the picture. In the render, it's a little like he looks a little more human, I think, when you actually see the head proper. But there you go. There's Spike. He's got alternate heads too. Stay tuned for more on the alternate heads. Let's get the fishbowl out here. So the fishbowl is going to be two pieces. You basically get, the front and the back of the fishbowl, and then it's ridged, and it'll snap together. This one's just 3D printed, so it doesn't snap together very well without getting it like bang on, and then it doesn't stay together very well. But that's the idea. And same kind of thing with the fishbowl as the other helmet, where you basically got to kind of piece it together to get it over the head, because it doesn't fit if you don't do it that way. But let me see if I can piece it together here, get it to stay well enough to show you what it's going to look like. Now, these are all just like friction fit, so they don't actually like sit in here properly, of course, which is like silly, but yeah, I can't get it to go because this Spike's bobblehead isn't helping. But let me show you what it'll look like effectively on the suit, or an approximation, an idea of what it'll look like. So that's sort of what the fishbowl will look like on the top there. I think it's pretty cool. I'm excited for this. Excited for all of it, obviously, but Yeah, very, very cool. The so the base body and the harness, you could sort of see, this upper piece will be removable. The lower belt and this sort of crotch piece will be removable, and then there's like a base torso underneath that. So we will be able to use that for other things, for other suits, other secondaries, and yeah, it just gives us a really good starting place for sort of other suits, other types of characters, other types of figures. So yeah, let's do a zombie. Let's take a look at the zombies. I'm gonna just quickly get this guy tucked back into bed here and say goodnight to him. I'm going to put that in there. I don't want to lose anything. I don't want to be the one that has to explain to Arlen why we don't have somebody's head or somebody's accessory or anything like that. So let's see. Let's see. I'll quickly just take a look at the chat here. Tyraxis, haven't heard that about weathering before. Makes sense though. I prefer simpler looking figures. And like I said, if you prefer simpler looking figures, it's easier to sort of keep that figure. And if you like something more complicated, it's easier to add than it is to subtract. So Highly Posable just brought up the Kickstarter on the show. I appreciate everybody sharing any of this. It's like Josh Brown, you'll appreciate this. Like, I am the nervous white of our our company. I'm the guy that's like so anxious about everything. It's the reason that I'm not looking at any of the numbers is because like I know the first time I look, it'll be that much easier to look again the second time, and then I'll be up all night like just refreshing the page and like looking at it. And I don't want to do that. Kelly says, I might be mistaken, but one of the hands yet to be unlocked is flipping the bird hand. No, we are not doing a bird hand. At least not in this wave. At least not with these figures. So, any plans to show the unlocks in advance? A lot of what's going to be unlocked has kind of already been seen. If you've sort of been paying attention, a lot of it's out there. But as far as showing the unlocks in advance, no, we've shown the stretch goals for the most part. But if you mean like the shadowed bits from all the figures, we won't be showing those until they unlock. For the medical white gray suits, how do we get those? They will unlock. And Sean Forrester right there says 144 US to unlock white and gray astronauts. That's our 4th stretch goal, I think. If I'm not mistaken. Kelly says definitely need that red astronaut. I think the red astronaut, has that cool pulpy kind of 1960s sci-fi vibe, which I think is really, really cool. What's up, New York City Figure Fanatic? Says stopping by because Josh said you're on while simultaneously being live on Highly Posable. Thank you for stopping in. Good to have you here. Josh Brown says fellow nervous white. Yeah, exactly. Somebody's got to do it. What's going on, Thanos? Good to have you, buddy. Good to have you. All right, let's take a look at the blue zombie. We're like 40 minutes. If you guys have questions about the Kickstarter, by all means, ask them. I will be doing my normal video, my highly articulated video on Sunday, as usual. And I'm probably not gonna I'll probably do a quick thing about Mask and maybe those 2003 turtles that Super 7's doing. And maybe something about Mattel getting DC, and probably other things that I'm forgetting. But I'll probably spend most of the time just doing Q&A for the Kickstarter. So feel free to ask here because you're here now. But if you're watching the replay between now and Sunday, You know, bring all the questions you want to Sunday Night. Now I can answer them all. Now it's sort of like, ask me anything, and if it's, you know, unlocked and it's sort of out there, I'm happy to answer. So it's incredibly relieving for it to be live. I will say that much, unprompted and unsolicited. I was like, yeah, I was a wreck for the last little bit. So, okay, here we go. All right, this is pretty fun. This one's broken too. They're all a little bit broken. That's okay. A little bit broken is fine. We can glue it back together. He's got a similar problem where his leg broke. But again, these are usually pretty easy to pop that little sort of core out and glue back on to where it should be, which is the base of the leg. That is where they disconnect. So that's you know, the disconnect point for, you know, the swappable, you know, if you want to swap zombie parts for astronaut parts and stuff like that. That's how that works. But again, you know, another of the blue suits, but in this case, you know, some zombie flesh there as well. You get the bear zombie leg, you get that bear zombie forearm. The other arm didn't break, but it's just not attached. He just sort of took it apart to ship it. But there's the other arm. Lots of fun, you know, gory, exposed zombie bits there. And that's just gonna plug in like so. So there you go. There's the blue suit zombie. Again, you got some buttons on that harness, that chest piece there. This I want to show. This I didn't put on intentionally because I want to show you guys. This is the neck, and I don't know if it's going to pick it up super well, but like there's a bunch of sculpting even in the neck, and it's like really gross, like sinewy kind of zombie look. So like everything is textured, and everything is gross and gooey and bloody and fun, which is awesome. The joint, the joint is articulated in there, but because this is a 3D print, it's just one piece. But you can sort of see how that's going to have, you know, a ball joint on a pivot. So I'll just, I'm not forcing it in just yet. So that's how that'll go. And then what head does he come with? I can't remember. And I don't want to pick one that you guys haven't seen yet. So what head am I going to use? I will use the Prometheus head because I have it on my desk, and you've seen it before. That's the Prometheus head. The jaw is articulated. So there you go. And again, I'm not forcing it together. The neck isn't that long. It's just right on the top of the ball peg for the time being. But there's sort of an idea of what you'll get from sort of one of the zombies. That looks, the neck looks weird like that. Imagine you didn't see it look that weird. Hey, what's going on, Quip? Good to have you, buddy. Man, it's late out there. What are you doing still up? So you have to take notes for Sunday? Trav says, can't wait to get my hands on the blue and orange ones. I like, honestly, the white and the orange are probably my favorite. The blue and the green are must-haves though. So there isn't like one that you can kind of get away with not having. For me, like honestly, like my struggle is going to be how many of each do I get? But Austin says, evening, just stopped in to say hello. Any ideas on an all-in option like AWOX, all figures included, whatever gets unlocked? Yes, $350 will be 11 figures, a head pack, a comic book, and a record. So yeah, 350 US. I think it's $500 Canadian. But we won't um, we won't sort of have that until we get there. So unlike Animal Warriors of the Kingdom, where we did the epic all in sort of right from the start, we won't have that as a reward tier until we unlock everything. So hopefully that happens sooner rather than later, and then it makes it easier for people to sort of go ahead and back that. Also, unlike Animal Warriors of the Kingdom, the two all-in bundles, so the Prepare to Launch bundle and the All Systems Go bundle, will be no substitutions. So those are all-in bundles in sort of the truest sense. If you want one of everything, those are going to be the bundles to get. They will also offer effectively the best pricing per figure. So that's sort of the trade-off, is that you get the best price, but you don't get to pick. You get one of everything. So Quip says, Night Owl, just saw the stream and figured I'm down for Astronaut Zombies. Good to have you, buddy. It's always good to have you. So I wasn't trying to tell you couldn't be here. We're gonna get all them tiers unlocked. Yeah, we are. I mean, that's part of it, was that we wanted to make the funding goal, very attainable, and then have the stretch goals be pretty low too. So every stretch goal, equates to about $5,000 beyond the last one. And part of the reason for that was the thinking that, every time one unlocks, it sort of gives people an opportunity for something else to, add on or get excited about, or, if you're waiting for, Nelson, if you're waiting for the medical astronaut, anybody that's waiting will sort of not have to wait too long to get their favorite figure, if they're only getting one. But I mean, come on, you want all of them. What are you waiting for? But it does just allow people to sort of like get what they want sooner rather than later. And hopefully, because the stretch goals are nice and close together, it'll sort of just keep the momentum of the project going. And as they unlock, as I said, it'll just sort of, push people to sort of the next goal that much easier than when there's like big jumps and you kind of hit one and then there's a weird lull where people are like, I don't know, I'll wait for the next thing. And sometimes that's like days in between or weeks or whatever, depending on how long the whole process is. But we wanted it to happen quickly, so we kind of set it up in a way that hopefully we can do that. And there is effectively only $1 in this offering, which is why the stretch goals can be so close together. Because we don't have to pay for new tooling for the body. Really, each stretch goal represents one or two plates. There doesn't have to be a huge amount of difference financially. So very, very excited about that. And I can't wait to get everything unlocked and show everybody everything that gets unlocked, because there's a lot of really, really cool stuff in there. And I've said this before, what is in the shadows is, in my opinion, the most fun stuff that we have to offer. So I hope that I hope that those things get unlocked sooner rather than later, so that other people can get excited and see them. Here is the damaged zombie astronaut mask, which is really, really cool. You can see, there it is. You can sort of catch the sort of cracks in the frame. It's not just a hole that's just sort of cut in there. There's actually cracks in the glass that go along with it. Yeah, pretty excited about these. I'm pretty excited. Let's see. Austin says, I already backed for Prepare, but I refuse to pass on Locke, and especially McBride. I would be devastated to not have her. We would be too. I mean, that's the thing, is like, hopefully we get there early. Hopefully we get there fast. And then, as everything unlocks, then it's kind of like, it's kind of just makes it easier for the people that are on the fence when everything's unlocked and everything's revealed and you can see what's in there and you can see all the value sort of pack in with the additional stretch goal stuff. I think those people that are like, right now I'm not there. But if it has the additional parts and if it has the additional hands, you know, I'll pick up these 20 figures or whatever. Tyraxis says, getting late here, heading out. Best of luck, though. I will be increasing my pledge to $350, though. Absolutely appreciate that, my man. Appreciate you. And yeah, we'll get there. We'll get there. So you know, it'll be well worth your pledge. So once we get all unlocked, we'll definitely back all in. Maybe an extra zombie or two, maybe 3. Well, I mean, if you're up to 3, it's probably most cost effective to just do that 4 zombie add-on. That's probably going to be the way to go. Does the 345 tier get you one of everything and all in? Absolutely, it will when it unlocks. Like I said, it's not there yet, and it won't be there until we get, you know, the unlocks that will sort of equate to that whole tier. As I said, if you're thinking that $350, you know, all in bundle will be what you want, if you're thinking that you're going to want one of everything, you know, pledge for $350, put $350 as your like backing number. However you want to do it doesn't really matter, whether it's like without reward, whether it's the current all-in bundle, whether it's just a bunch of add-ons, it doesn't really matter. You know, just put your 350 in there, and then when that unlocks, sooner rather than later, hopefully, you'll just go in, change your pledge, and you'll get that all-in bundle. So cool. You're a smart man. Well, we'll find out in about 31 days. I appreciate the vote of confidence, though. Are you guys doing backer kit? I'm not 100% certain. We will be doing something after. We have to in order to get addresses, in order for people to choose their rewards if they're doing add-ons where there's choice involved. For example, if you chose 4 astronauts, you get to pick, you know, the 4 astronauts. And so if you want one of each, you'll just have to pick, you know, one of each of the 4 main astronauts. If you want, you know, 4 military, you just pick 4. So whether that's going to be backer kit, or I think Kickstarter has like a version of backer kit now, which I haven't even looked at yet. They do have late pledges as well. We'll probably run late pledges. So late pledges don't sort of count towards the funding goal, but it does kind of give you the opportunity to get figures still at kind of a discounted price. But there will be something like that. I would say as of today, it'll probably be backer kit. But if it's not backer kit, there'll be something like backer kit. So we will have, you know, a back end kind of pre-order window. So if that makes sense. So I missed, so pledge 350 and not the 345 tier. What's the 345 tier? Sorry. Oh, so, okay. So the 345, that's 345 Canadian. So this is something that I have to remind people all the time. I don't think I reminded people today. You're gonna see that stuff's all Canadian dollars. Like the pricing's Canadian dollars. If you scroll all the way to the bottom of the page, you can change the currency. So if you're in the US, you change it to US currency, and then it'll tell you what that one actually is going to cost you. If you're Canadian, you're laughing because it's already in Canadian dollars. But the all-in all systems go bundle, which will have all the figures and everything, will be about $350 US. I think it's 500 Canadian dollars, but it's about 350 US dollars. So I hope that makes sense. I think that's going to be kind of one of the more confusing things, is the fact that the Kickstarter is actually in Canadian dollars because we're Canadian, and Kickstarter told us we can't do it in US dollars, even though we wanted to. So there you go. Any chance you could do an homage to the alien rifle? Hold on. Something like that? Or do you mean something different? Is that, I mean, is that close to what you, is that close to what you'd want? I've never looked that closely at the Alien Pulse Rifle. I think it's called a Pulse Rifle, or I think that's what it's called. But I think that a couple people have mentioned that looks like the. Oh, okay. So I guess we got it. There you go. There's your answer. Yes, yes, we will. That comes with Guy Garrison. So that comes with the military figure. Yeah. I didn't see this comment. Never mind. I see it's already a thing. Okay, there will be an all-in bundle added later if everything unlocks. Got it. Yes, that's exactly it. You got it. If everything unlocks, we'll have an all-in that will have one of everything. So Sean says pretty close. It even has the ammo counter. I don't think it's 1-to-1. I don't think Arlen meant for it to be 1-to-1, but that was sort of an example of one that was sort of pointed out. He was like, yeah, we'll just make that. Austin says, great. 2 of him now. Guy Garrison's great, and he's also an army builder. He's got an alternate head with the mask, so you can have, two military characters without it being, super obvious that you have the same figure, 2 of the same figure. That's what's great about army builders. The good army builders, you don't really realize that you've got multiples of the same figure, kind of thing. Okay, putting this guy away, and then we'll get the red zombie out. And then I will take a look at the backpacks, and then we'll call it a night. And I am going to sleep like a baby tonight. Oh, he's broken too. That's 4 for 4. Dang it. He's got a broken leg and a broken wrist. His hand fell off. Oh, well, he's a zombie. I don't think you'll notice. But there's the red zombie. And again, that red and black, I am on record as saying that I don't like black and red characters. I don't like black and red figures. I think it's like too easy. Like, it's such a go-to color combination. But a red suited villain to me is like, it's the way you do it. You know what I mean? Like, when you see Spike Spectre in his red suit, you go, oh yeah, that's the bad guy. Like, it's just that's the way you got to do it, right? The red and black bad guy is the bad guy that we all know and love. What I'm not showing you is the extra parts that are tucked in here too. Because we of course have to have the stretch goals all done and painted and sculpted and all that kind of stuff, so they're all there too. But I didn't show you. You'll have to stay tuned. Maybe we'll show the stretch goal parts when they unlock. I've got, like I said, I got the paint samples of the alternate heads for the gruesome head pack, like that one there, and this one here. And I got this. This one's really cool. This one's great. But yeah, you'll have to wait till until those get unlocked to see them. Oh, and actually, I'll show this because this is rad, and because we haven't really seen this, or at least the render doesn't really do it justice. But first, I'll take a look at the. Actually, you know what? I'm going to show this absolutely last because it's so cool. Let's see. Austin M. Little off topic, but any updates on Defenders of Eden, Armies of Ashmore? Really excited for Kuzo and becoming impatient. Unfortunately, they are, I think, in Chicago. Matt lives a few hours away from Chicago, so they just got to get on a truck and get to him, and then he is going to start processing and shipping. So it's like the last step for those. You're gonna see them very, very soon. So I'm super excited for those two. I can't wait. And I'm on the West Coast, so I'm gonna have to wait even longer than most people. Sean said, "Dang, I'm gonna need more than one all in." 1 sec, I gotta go to my kid. He doesn't have a college fund anymore. Well, don't buy too many of them. Community colleges, you still get a great education at a community college. So, there's no shame in that. Larry's Geeky World says zombies just falling to pieces. Yeah, it's like the flesh is just deteriorating as we speak. All my alive astronauts will be female head sculpts, minus Guy, as he doesn't have one. Mass sculpts for him. I think yeah, I think you're right. I think you'll need a Guy Garrison, because I think there's 3 female head sculpts. So let's see. Yeah. Trades, you make pretty good money. You get sorry, I got distracted. I'm going to show you the thing that didn't distract me. So I got hoses, which you can't see because they're like in the there, you can see even better. Some hoses that are going to connect the backpacks to other things. Whether that's to the figures, to the belts, to what have you. Now these are going to have a little bit more detail than what's on here, but these look good. So this is the backpack, and this paint got updated from I have the green backpack too from the other astronaut. Like I have the Guy Garrison Paintmaster already, but I think this got updated. So this is like a gunmetal kind of graphite metallic paint to that section. Nice big backpack. You can see all these ports, and I was trying to show these the other night on a video, and all these ports will have plugs. And so if you don't want an open port like that, you just put a plug in there, but the hoses will fit in there. And yeah, very, very cool. I think yeah, I think this might be a port too, but it's covered up. But anyway, backpack's looking very, very cool. But that's not the only backpack in here, because we had the red astronaut. So of course we also have the red backpack, the more 60s pulpy sci-fi one, and that's still going to have ports too. Fewer ports, just one on either side. You're going to get ports in the bottom there too. So this jetpack can jet. Yeah, very, very cool. I really, really love this backpack. Working with your hands is a great trade. Absolutely. Shout out to all the tradespeople. Good hours, you can kind of like work your own schedule. You can get the holidays that you need typically. There's always work to be done. So yeah, of course. Get a trade certification. Your certification? Is that how you say that? Okay, these are taped shut, but I don't care. I'm opening it anyway. I just don't want to break it. I would be in so much trouble if I broke this. Why did he tape it shut? Wait for it. Wait for it. Okay, now, before... It might be printed without articulation. I was hoping it would have the articulation, but there's Julia Stryker's accessory, the sort of pincher. So you're gonna get, this is gonna rotate. I believe the claw is gonna close, and then you can kind of see in the way that it's sculpted that at each one of these joints, it'll bend. That's a link, and then they'll bend this way too at each one. So and then like rotate. So this I'm very, very excited about. These are going to be very, very cool. Well, they are very, very cool. It's not they're going to be. They are very, very cool. So there you go. There's backpacks. There's accessories. Is there anything else hiding in here? No, that's it. Okay, that's all I got. I've opened the heads. I didn't show you the heads. I'll show you a couple more heads, and then we'll call it a night, I think. Hey, almost midnight. Do you want to hang out? We'll do a couple more heads, and then we'll wrap it up so that Austin can get off to bed, and I can get off to an early night too. Red 5 is here. What's going on, buddy? He says, I got to put in my order tomorrow, catching the replay tomorrow. Good night and good luck. You guys are already killing it. Thank you, and I appreciate you. All right, Austin. Let's quickly. Okay, which of these heads have you guys seen? You know what? Let's skip the heads. Let me just show you this. So you saw this in the renders, and people have sort of asked about it. This is, of course, the mask, the Spike Spectre mask, looking very, very evil, very menacing with those sort of red teeth and sort of bone mask. But it is, in fact, a helmet. And you can sort of see on the side there's like some like like computery kind of cybernetic tentacle, tube type things, matte black on the back, and that will fit. I've not forced it yet because I got to take a picture of this beautiful face before I try to put it on there, but that will fit right on top, and he can wear that as a mask. It's even sculpted. Now I don't know if you're gonna. It's even sculpted with like eye holes, so you'll be able to see his eyes still through the mask. So very, very cool. I'm super excited about this. I'll be honest, until I got this in hand, I didn't realize that this was like a helmet. I thought it was a mask. I was like everybody else. I thought it was a mask. I kept calling it a mask. They didn't correct me. Arlen and Ira just didn't bother mentioning it to me. But anyway, I'm very, very excited about that. So, let's see. Yeah, gonna need two of him. Yeah, I think you will, and I think like I said, when things get revealed, I think people will see like more stuff that they want with a lot of the figures, and potentially end up with with more stuff. Hopefully, I mean that's the goal, right? And as I said, we're hoping that all of this gets unlocked and all the stretch goals get unlocked sooner rather than later, because like I said, it makes it that much more fun if we can sort of get to the celebration early, and if you get two of them, we get there all the much quicker. So by all means, going back for everything you think you're gonna want. That's all I got. That's all the stuff that I've got to show off. I hope that's enough. I hope nobody's too angry that we launched on Friday when everybody thought we were going to launch on Saturday. And I hope that you guys like this stuff. I hope that what you've seen you have enjoyed. I hope what you saw in the campaign it is appealing and is cool, and you're as excited about this as we are, because we're pretty excited about this, and can't wait to get these figures made. So get your pledges in, tell your friends, reach out, share posts, share other people's posts. You don't just have to share our posts. If you see the Collecting Brothers posts, or you see whoever's post with our name on it, and our logos on and stuff, share those ones too. Get the word out, because we really want this to be a really organic Kickstarter. We want it to be, we want it to all get funded because of people like you guys who are here and sort of excited about it. So please, as much as you can, share it. Instagram, Facebook, wherever you do your social media-ing, I guess. All right. It's been a pleasure, as I said, but it is past the point that I should still be awake, because I've been going on, a few hours of sleep every night. I will be back Sunday. As I said, if you got any questions about Space Zombies from Mars, please, by all means, come drop in on Sunday afternoon and say hello, and feel free to ask your questions. And let's get this thing funded. Until next time, bye bye.